is Anne. I am 79 years old and I live in Shipley, having moved here 34 years ago from Bingley, which is just 5 miles down the road. I have 4 grown-up children and 6 grandchildren. And today I'm going to talk about what's considered to be a taboo subject, talking about death. So, here goes. My first knowledge of death came when I was about 7 years old. I remember it very clearly because my sister and I used to go home from school at lunchtime to have our lunch at home. And we met a man who was weeping. I had never seen a man crying before. And so we asked him why he was crying. And he said that he'd just heard that King George VI had died. I don't know that made a lot of impression on me at the time, but I went home and asked my mother what died meant. And when she told me, I was absolutely horrified. I went round thinking, how can we possibly stop living at some point? And eventually she said, look, don't worry about it, because you're going to live a very, very long life before that happens. So I think after that it sort of faded from my memory, and I grew up and got married and had children. But the next time that I had an encounter with someone who was dying was when my mother-in-law was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and she had only a year to live at the most. And I was working at the time, and I used to come home, and every other night I would go and spend an hour with my mother-in-law, and she would just talk and talk and talk, and that's what she wanted to do, to talk, and I just listened. When she died, I was really upset, but I thought, well, I'm going to live my best life for the life that she hasn't been able to live, because she was only 61 when she died. So at some point after that I joined a gym, and ever since then I have been going to a gym. But at the same time, because I was so stressed, I started smoking cigarettes, which, when you think about it, is like the opposite of what you do to lead your best life. I gave up smoking when I was 58. So there's a story. So a few years after my mother-in-law dying, I went to university and I qualified as a social worker. And I'd always wanted to work with older people. I found their stories fascinating. So I did that. And I was also interested in health promotion. There was a health promotion unit in Bradford, and they were concentrating with the physiotherapist on keeping older people mobile and talking about things like healthy eating. So, although I wasn't involved in that at the time, when I retired, I applied to become an exercise tutor with health promotion. And I did that for about 5 years, working with groups of people. And I gradually gained confidence to be able to run these exercise groups. At the end of 5 years, I did something that I'd always wanted to do but never dared to do, until my son told me I would never do it, which was to go and live in Spain. So I rented out my house and I went over to Alicante and moved somewhere above Benidorm, that very well-known resort, and I started running exercise classes over there as a way of getting to know the mainly English expats who were living out there permanently. So I did that for 3 winters, and then felt that I was living neither over there nor over here. The constant change didn't suit me, so I came back. A few years after that, so we're talking about 2017, one of my best friends became ill with terminal cancer, and I did a lot of going out with her. We even went on a cruise around the Scottish Islands. We did lots of things until very near the end. So that really affected me. And I had joined an acting group in Leeds to sort of open up my life and make new friends. And one of the actors who I'd really got on well with was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and died 4 months later. And I was pretty devastated by this, and I thought, well, this is just awful. But I realised that I was moving into that phase of life where our friends grow ill, they grow infirm, some go into residential care, and then unfortunately some die. And I thought I need to know how I could be more helpful to people who are going through severe illness and dying. And this course was advertised on social media about how to make one's own death a blessing to other people, and how to be there for other people who are going through the dying process. So although it was nothing that I'd ever thought I wanted to do, I felt compelled to go on this course, and it has had a remarkable effect on me. I think one of the things that I learnt from this course is that if one is peaceful and relaxed and calm and feels gentle and warm and loving, those kind of feelings, that atmosphere that you create by being like that, is transferred to the person that you are with. I recognise that because often to be with a person who's dying can feel like a very agitating thing, that one doesn't know what to do or to say. But very often one doesn't need to say anything, that one's presence, if it's a calm presence, is all that the person requires. So it's like my attitude to death and dying has gone through various stages, but I think that at this time in life it's really, really crucial that I approach both my own death and caring for others in a better way.